Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Welcome to another episode of Rewind with Besa. And yes, this is the third time that you're seeing this outfit. It's okay. It's a cute outfit, right? Anywho, so right now we actually have, I've never interviewed a wrestler, so this is going to be really, really fun, especially someone that, as you guys don't know, I used to watch WWE growing up, so I got some questions. Today we are joined by Swerve Strickland, okay? We're going to bring him in as soon as we get into this intro. Hey, Swerve, how you doing?
I'm excellent. Excellent. It's ugly outside, but I'm feeling beautiful inside.
And now it's all gloomy and it's getting dark.
It is.
And whoa.
And I'm upset because JC told me it was like beautiful yesterday, so I missed it by 24 hours.
No, period. It was a little chilly, don't get me wrong, but it was a nice day.
Right, okay. I missed out on it. But I still love it. Doesn't take away my love for Seattle every time I come here. It's like my favorite city to come through.
Now you're from Tacoma.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Growing up in Tacoma, and then as an adult, you became a wrestler.
Yeah, there's a lot of space
there's
in
a
between.
lot
There's
that
a lot of
happened in
content
there.
between that, but yeah.
I guess my question to you is, what was like that moment when you were like, man, I want to be a wrestler? Like, I remember I used to watch like wrestling when I was younger, and it was like I would be sucked in. Like,
same.
if I missed an episode, like I was recording WWE like my mom would record her soap operas.
Yeah.
And then when people started moving over to Raw, I was pissed because I was like, wait a minute.
Like you mess it throws
I don't
your whole
have this
flow
kind
out.
of money. Like,
it throws your whole flow out because now you're like, oh, now I got to check in on Fridays to say my favorite wrestler and
then
stuff
you're
like
missing
that.
stuff. Like the storyline doesn't make any sense all of a sudden anymore.
Oh yeah.
So what was the moment when Lil Swerve was like watching wrestling and was like, you know what? I want to do that.
Honestly, like, well, when I was like little, like I was born in Tacoma, Washington. I was only there for like 2 months of my life.
Oh wow.
Then I moved to Germany. Then I lived in Germany till I was 8 years old because I was an army brat.
Uh-huh.
So the first love was like action figures, cartoons. I loved Sonic. I loved Ninja Turtles. I loved Power Rangers. I had all the figures and stuff like that, and I drew them all on my wall. I didn't do paper. I just drew them on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Live life.
Just enjoy it. I filled up the walls all the time. So I was like always just creating and drawing and stuff. I go outside. I had friends, but I would mainly play to myself because my imagination. I would just use my imagination to create and do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when we came back to the States around like 9 years old for me, it was like York, Pennsylvania. I grew up pretty much in that Pennsylvania, Lancaster area, central PA.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like around 12 years old is where I watched that episode of SmackDown when Rey Mysterio debuted. And that's where I was just like, okay, that's like my imagination come to life. This is an actual person. All those like created cartoons, those Power Ranger outfits, those Ninja Turtle moves, the Sonic speed and all that.
Like this is the movie version of it.
It was like put into one person of like a Rey Mysterio. His entrance, he popped up out of the floor and pyro went everywhere and stuff like that. This was like 2002. And I was like, I was like 12 years old at the time, so I'm like, yeah, this is like my imagination come to life. And that's where I was like, I didn't know I wanted to be a pro wrestler, but I knew like wrestling was like, I was passionate about it. And I started watching every single day since then. Every video game I purchased, every like show I watched. When I went to my dad's house in Buffalo, New York for the summers, like we went to the HSBC arena at the time in Buffalo, New York. We went to there, seen live wrestling. Stuff like that. Got to see, like, witness how, like, grown and adult these guys were. They're, like, huge, like, enormous, like, cartoon
like way
characters.
bigger than they look on TV.
Way bigger, you know? And, like, I was still sitting pretty far back, and they still seemed, like, enormous to me. And it's crazy, like, growing up, like, actually getting into professional wrestling years later, I ended up wrestling some of those guys that I grew up watching.
Wow.
You know? And I'm pretty good friends with them. I've actually wrestled Rey Mysterio since then.
What like, okay. The day that you found out, like, being that this is someone that, like, literally sparked that interest in you, the day you found out that you were going to wrestle him, what was your first thought?
Well, like, that day, it was like I was in work mode, so I wasn't really going back to child, like, wonder, that feel yet. because I was just like, all right, I'm working Rey Mysterio. Let's get it. Gotta get this show on the road. We main eventing. So that's thousands of people in the stands, Tennessee. Let's get it done. And so I was just in work mode, grind. Like it was until like after the night after or the week after, it was like, I just wrestled a guy that inspired me. Like I wrestled my Spider-Man. Like that was my hero come to life, and I wrestled him. And it was funny, like when we came up to each other before the show, he's like, hey man, like I've been a fan of your stuff for a while. I always wanted to work with you, man. I'm like, damn, he's saying that about my work and stuff like that, which is crazy. Like anybody in the world, he was saying that about my work. That's just like blew my mind before we even got in the ring together.
That's wild.
So yeah, it's crazy.
What kind of training do you typically have to do on like a day-to-day basis?
Mainly, I stay conditioned. Like I just try to condition and make sure I have core workouts in, because a lot of like people see like it's biceps and leg workouts and stuff like that. But for me, it's all in the center of gravity, your mass right here, like your chest and your torso and your back and everything is what helps you move and what helps control other people to move and place where they need to be.
Oh wow!
Which is the number one job. You want to place people where they need to be, and you got to be in control of it. It's a lot of up down, take the beating, type movement, up down, take the beating. So all of it's all here.
Interesting.
And so that's why I'm mainly focused on training wise.
Do you guys have to like literally learn how to fall?
Yeah.
Like, so that's like a real thing. You guys like purposely.
It's like a stunt coordinating in Hollywood. You learn how to fall. You learn your fronts, your side falls, your flip falls, and all stuff like that.
But the injuries are real.
Yeah.
Like people really get injured, even though it's like kind of some of it's like planned things.
Yeah. We get hurt every week, every match.
Damn.
We're always hurt, but after a while, it's like, oh, that hurt. All right, moving on. And you just kind of.
It's just like a part of the game after a while.
Yeah, like everything, like usually hurts in the ring. Like running the ropes, just running against the ropes hurts your body.
Wow.
I've seen people break their ribs on the ropes. So like, anything hurt, but it's all about the training. Is just like that's why people do it for so long and so many years. You have to do it multiple times because you have to build up the callus so it doesn't hurt anymore. Now it's just a part of what you do.
Wow.
So some people that come in and just can do one match, like they build up these celebrities to do one big match after 3 months and stuff. They come in and do it. They're like dead afterwards.
Because they're just not used to all of that.
Because they're not used to doing it night in, night out, getting on the road, getting on the car, night in, night out, getting on the road. So they can like do these great performances the one time, and they're like it's awesome. Thank God. Like if you're a good athlete, you can perform pretty well. It's just the people don't see the other side the next night, the next day, how much of a toll it really takes on people.
Yeah.
Even for the best athletes in the world, like a Logan Paul, one really great athlete in boxing and stuff, very well accomplished as well. Performed his ass off in Crown Jewel, awesome job, but torn MCL, torn ACL, body, like you're not going to see him for months on end because his body's not calloused enough to do it weekly, night in, night out, this city, that city, 4 times a week. That's the difference between like doing it and being it.
I was going to ask, like, what do professional wrestlers and boxers think about like celebrities and YouTubers that want to jump in the ring?
For professional wrestling, our business was grown on that. We know it was bred from that, from the foundation. We've had Muhammad Ali coming in WrestleManias. We had Mr. T main event WrestleMania 1. You've had like Sinatra's and like what's her name? Oh man, Becky Lynch just played her in the Young Rock show. Her name's on the tip of my tongue, but basically, we've always had celebrities involved in the sport of what we do because that's what made it a festive, must-see event. Like that's always been is the showcase of the immortals. And so I think it's always beautiful to have crossover celebrities come in. Get a little mixed in a little bit because you want that crossover appeal. You want people who don't normally watch your product, but they are a fan of him or her. They come in and do something. Now it's like, oh, I didn't see the show, but I followed that person, that celebrity, and now I'm like, okay, maybe I need to tune in a little more.
Yeah.
Because they getting involved with it, and that I love what they do. So if they love that, I love that.
Yeah.
And that's where our society is. If they like that, they follow that. Cyndi Lauper came through. One of the first couple WrestleManias.
I thought that Trina was supposed to be going on there too.
She did. Yeah,
she did? It already happened?
Yeah.
Damn, exactly. How did I miss it?
Follow Trina. You'll follow us.
I missed it.
And it was like the week she went into the BET Hip Hop Awards honors too.
Wow.
So she came in with us on that Wednesday at Grand Slam. And when we did the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, it was like 13,000 people.
Wow.
Came and did something there. And some people, even our fan base was like, Trina, I haven't heard of Trina in a long time. Well, Trina, or some people were like, this is a new generation, so these like 15, 16 years old.
Like, who's that?
Like, who's Trina? What's a Trina? Who's Trina? And then like you follow her, you see Shade Room, and you see like Double XL take this news, and it just swarms into like a media frenzy, and it goes into BET Hip Hop Awards. And they're like, oh, they're honoring her at BET Hip Hop Awards? She must be big.
Yeah.
Oh, she's big and mess with them. That means, so now you're getting two fan bases that aren't familiar with one, or the one's not familiar with the other.
It becomes a whole thing.
It becomes a thing. And then she's mentioning AEW on the red carpet at the BET Hip Hop Awards. So now they're getting a taste of that. So now it's like, that's when the beauty of cross-marketing and cross-platform artists, athletes, boxers getting into pro wrestling, wrestlers, Brock Lesnar going into MMA and winning a world championship doesn't happen often. One of the very few that ever done it. That builds both brands.
Interesting. So it basically keeps it alive, and it keeps it circulating around different audiences. It's like, oh, I typically wouldn't watch wrestling, but I like Trina, so let me see what's going on over here.
Yeah, I like Kevin Gates. Let me check that out a little bit.
Check this out real quick.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of all. I don't think it's just a wrestling and a sport thing. I think it's entertainment worldwide.
I feel like I seen that you did some acting.
I did a short horror film,
now,
actually.
Do you feel like you were able to do that because it was just something that you had in you, or do you feel like wrestling also helps you like do that because of the character that you have to play when you're at work?
For me, what I learned pretty much like the second half of my career, because I've been doing it 13 years. March will make 14. The second half of my career was camera work. Like I spent the first half trying to be the best wrestler, the best athlete I could be, have the best matches. And after a while, there's only so high you can go with that kind of stuff. And then you got to find who are you within the action. Who are you? How is little Jake, who's 7 years old, going to emulate me when he goes on the playground? What a part of me can he take to just like what I used to do when I was a kid, drawing pictures and stuff like that. I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle because I wanted to be Raphael because I liked his attitude, his personality. I wanted to be the Black Ranger because he could do this and that.
Yeah.
How can I have another kid do the same thing? Like, I'm Swerve because I do this on the playground or at school, and then that translates to the next kid, the next kid, the next kid, And it became camera work. Like, what faces can I make? What things can I do with my teeth, my look, that people are going to want to play me as a character on Halloween. Dress up as your favorite inspiration at school day. I want kids to try to dress up and emulate who I am. And I feel like me seeing my face so often every week on television, or when I was on the Independence getting my matches sent back to me, how close the camera was. I'm like, oh man, there's a moment right there. Yeah. There's a couple seconds I could take to do something. Or when I went to WWE and NXT and stuff, it was like, it went from like, not just what can you do in the ring, how can you make me feel about you in the ring? And that's where it like started turning and changing. And I started doing it for everything. My podcast, I try to have a facial reaction to a guest responding to a question or going into a deep story about them personally, like me reacting to that or reacting to my guests and the cross talk and stuff like that. And timing was big too. And with like pro wrestling, you get one shot at it. So your timing has to be
on point.
Pinpoint. You get one
no
shot.
mistakes allowed.
Yeah. And that discipline is where it kind of translated to like kind of like acting, where you get like, cut, all right, Kate, we're gonna move camera here, cut, all right, like just do this one more time, all right, cut. And like I'm like, oh, this is so much easier than I thought, because I usually get one chance to do this.
Right? One chance and it's done.
Yeah, in front of 10,000 people.
No pressure.
Yeah. So now it's like 20 people a set in a crew of people. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. At least they know me.
Join us this holiday season at the Fifth Avenue Theater and feel the power of love overflowing with The Wiz. Filled with soaring soul and R&B songs, it's an effervescent explosion of music, dance, and magic your whole family will love. Ease on down the yellow brick road with Dorothy as she learns home isn't really where you live, it's who you love. The Wiz at the Fifth Avenue Theater, November 19th through December 23rd. Tickets at fifthavenue.org.
Now, you did mention your podcast. It's called Swerve City Podcast.
Yes.
For those that haven't heard it, tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Well, we're about 5 years running now. We literally, me and my co-host Montezi, Antoine Moore. He is just been one of the best rappers, artists that I know personally for like such a long time. Been doing it for like 17 years now. He was mentored by Busta Rhymes and Shamelo Durant, who wrote a lot of.
Did you see that Busta Rhymes dropped a new project?
Yeah, I heard about that. And of course, he's going to be killing it as usual. And he always has a different sound too. Yeah. This is many years, he's still creating new sounds. That's like
it is a little bit different. It's a little bit. It's not like crazy different, but it's timely different. If that makes any sense.
I'm gonna check it out. I haven't had the time to yet, but I'm gonna check it out probably this weekend. But yeah, he was mentored by Busta, and he does a lot of wrestling theme music. So a lot of like some certain people, like you'll see on TV or AEW and stuff, you'll hear Montezi's voice or contributions to their music and stuff like that. Like Sammy Guevara, he does his entrance music and stuff like that. So he interviewed me years ago for just like his YouTube channel was building his YouTube content. And we was like, yo, you're a really good like host. Why don't we like do something together? So we just thought of the idea, did some high spot interviews, which went straight to DVD at the time. And then we just like started doing some IG lives with some friends. And then that built into like, hey, I know a guy with a camera. Oh, I know a guy who can make graphics. I know a guy that can do social media. And it was just like, we went to like our buddy Siren, who does videography, our buddy Mike, who's from LA, now in Florida. He does a lot of like graphic design and audio editing. And our buddy X, Alex, who does the social media, the gimbal and all that stuff. They're all like just integral parts of what we do. And we formed the Swerve City Podcast together. And we did like about 20 episodes that were on our YouTube channel. It's still there. And we had like a lot of my wrestling friends. They came through. Then we had like a lot of our his music friends come through. We had some comedians, you know, and we noticed there's parallels to like everybody's going through the same type of struggle in the industry. Then we was like, this isn't just a wrestling thing. This isn't just a comedy thing. This is just an acting thing. This is just like, this is an entertainment thing. So that's where it really grown into, just like building confidence through entertainment and like what the struggle is. And everybody went through the same struggles of what they had to do to make it to where they are, to be successful. Yeah. So we kind of put these worlds together, and that's where we came up with Swerve City Podcast. Since then, we got we had 10 episodes purchased by the WWE, and we got 10 episodes on the WWE Network. We've had WWE Champion Drew McIntyre on there. We've had Pat McAfee on, and we've had William Regal. We've had like a lot of like great performers, and we had like. Then on our own channel, we've had, you know, Samoa Joe. We've had Lisa Ann. You know, we've had like Charlotte Flair, like world champions. Wow. Like great. Like it's been amazing. Brad Williams. You know, it's been an awesome time. We're still growing, still doing our thing, and now we're about to do the Jericho Cruise come February.
Now, Jericho Cruise, as someone that is not like fully immersed into the WWE world anymore, what is that cruise about?
So this is an all elite wrestling product now. Oh. Yeah, this is AEW. Jericho's been with AEW for about 3 years now. You know, Chris Jericho, absolute legend within wrestling and music right now. He has a cruise that they've been doing for the last 3 years. Nice. This will be my first time going on it, which is awesome. I never been on a cruise, so I'm not a big fan of water. Big bodies of water. Not a big fan.
No. I have some feelings as to why we're not, but we digress.
You know. But if you're going to combine wrestling and music and podcasting, I'm going to be there. Heck so he invited us on to host the like podcasting probably live. I don't know. This is also like wrestlers. We makeshift what we do. We kind of like oh, we have this. Don't know how we're going to combine them yet, but let's figure out, see what happens.
Something great is going to happen no matter what, because it's a bunch of great people in the room.
Exactly. You're talented. You have a camera. You can audio. Let's
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We got 13 hours to figure it out. All right, let's do it. So that's what we're pretty much going to do with that. Going on a cruise with like some of the best wrestlers, like if not the best wrestling roster in the world with All Elite Wrestling. You know, they invited Jay Cargill on. Jay Cargill just did the Breakfast Club this past week, our TBS Women's Champion.
Oh, nice.
She just like did some with Charlamagne and DJ Envy. Huge, big cross-platform. The only female wrestler to ever do the show.
Wow.
For them. The only other one was Big E. So I'm just glad our people are getting in to those markets, you know. We got, like, you name them, like, top of the card, like Bryan Danielson going to be there, Jericho, Sammy Guevara, you got Wardlow going to be on there. You name them, they're going to be there, and I'm going to be interviewing them. I don't know if I'm wrestling, but I'm going to be doing some big things.
I'm
Hopefully
doing
I
some great stuff.
I want to perform music on there, too.
Speaking of music, before I go into my other question, what got you into doing music?
My co-host, Teasy.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I said, he's a musician, been doing it for so many years, and we talk music all the time.
Were you like freestyling or something, and he was like, hey,
no, I'm a terrible freestyler. I hate when people ask me to do it. I'm terrible at it.
Hey, at least you know. Like, there are some people that are like, yeah, I can do it. And all of a sudden, they're like coleslaw and potatoes and chips. And you're like, you know, if you...
See the I heart on the back of the thing. You put the thing in the back of the thing, man. Yeah. I'm like,
Like, if you knew good and well that was not your forte, you could have just said that.
No. I'll tell you, I'm not a good freestyle artist, but I think I'm getting better at formulating music, which is like probably even harder. One of the hardest things to do in the music is just like write something or put something together the proper way. And I'm like, I got a song with Music Soul Child out there.
Music Soul Child.
Another legend I grew up listening to that I now can say is like a friend of mine. Did music with Juice from Flatbush Zombies, Mickey Fax, hip hop legend John Connor, who used to be signed with Shady Aftermath.
Wow.
Just like competing with like just some MCs.
Yeah, big
MCs
people.
In this, yeah. And it's growing. Now I got Rick Ross like co-signing me on live TV on AEW. Kevin Gates is like an affiliate of mine. It's growing, and like I've only been doing music for like 3-4 years, and I got 3 albums out on all streaming platforms with Swerve City, and I got my 3rd song out on my own with Swerve the Realist, and like it's tracking pretty good. I got like 400,000 streams already.
Wow.
Like not bad for my first.
So it's coming real natural for you at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like I owe it all to my co-host Montezi, man. He's unreal. He's a super talented dude. Taught me from ground up, and like literally just threw me in the ringer with like heavy hitting MCs, like right away. And I'm like, oh, I gotta write and compete with this. Like, let me figure out how to get 8 bars. Now I'm like, okay, I figured out 8. Let me get 8 double timed. Let me get 12. Let me get an ABBA like combination, like rhyme schemes and stuff like that. And then like Burgess and Kane from the UK coming in just hot spitting on this. I'm like, okay, what am I doing right now? Like I'm like signing.
How did we get here?
Yeah, I'm like, we're just trying to put a song together. Now we got 3 albums deep, so it's like, it's pretty good.
Wow,
going very well.
So let me ask you this. When we were in the hallway, we were talking about being like one of very few like black people in our industries.
Yes. What
has it been like these last 13 years being like one of few black males that are actually making it within this wrestling industry?
I said it to you out there. It was just like the coolest thing is we get to stand out like instantly. Like, oh man, there's an African American in that forum. Like when pro wrestling, like you see like 7-match card, maybe 2 of those matches will have black people in it. It's like, oh, so we stand out right away. But at the same time, we have to exceed the expectations every time.
Yeah.
We can't just be good enough. We can't just be, oh, he was all right. We have to like do the most to stand out and just be like, we have to steal the show. That's our standard every time.
We can't just get by.
No. We can't. And the pressure's there, but it's also, we're also only as good as our last performance. So we have to do it again and then again and then again. And then we have an off night. Maybe he doesn't belong. Like what happened to the 4 last shows that I did? Like, what happened to the last 5 years of me committed to this and, like, doing the same work as this person did? Like, no.
Doesn't even matter anymore.
Yep, it doesn't matter. All that's wiped clean because of one off night. So we have to be cautious about how we present ourselves and how we're perceived every single time. So me, we kind of already get boxed into like a certain parody of like, oh, he's a rapper / wrestler. I'm like, okay, you already see me as that because of the way I dress and stuff like that. I don't like, to you, I don't look like a wrestler. In wrestling and wrestling or rap, I don't look like the rapper, and then in wrestling I don't look like the wrestler or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured out, like, let me combine both. So I kind of confuse you with both sides of it. So now I'm not a rapper, I'm a mogul. Like, now I'm like putting myself on a little bit of a pedestal of that. So I'm not just like boxed in here. Now I'm kind of like, I'm in that lane and that format, but I'm also like deviated away from it a little bit. So people kind of look at me in a different type of respect, in a sense, I constantly have to navigate and adapt. I have to constantly, which I'm pretty sure you have to do the same thing. You have to constantly adapt and navigate and survey the landscape. Where do we fit? What's missing? How can I fill that lane with what I offer? What's nobody's offering that I have that talent and ability and the connections and the resources to do it. So you gotta, and that's not just a one time, and you do it. You have to do it, then tap back into it a month later.
Period.
Then you gotta survey again, tap back into it a week and a month later. Then do it all over again, and it's just constant and constant and constant. And we have to always knock it out of the park.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I really don't like labels. Like, I don't like being labeled as a radio host or a content creator or an influencer or just a simple, like, a black woman. Like, I don't like the labels, because I'm all of that and so much more. It's like, once you start being like, okay, she's a radio host, then all of a sudden I want to say, go do some music, or maybe I want to do acting. It's like, oh, well, that's not what I'm used to her doing.
You're going outside of your box.
Yeah, and it's like, well, who told you to put me in this damn box? I didn't ask for a box. I definitely didn't ask for a lid. So at that
why do you think they limit?
Point,
why do you think they put that? There's always a limitation on that. It seems like.
I think that there's limitations due to people being intimidated by what we can do when we are in the door, which is why I don't like the labels, because it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do that feels natural for me. I'm not going to do it because I'm a black woman. I'm not going to do it because I'm the only woman in the room. I'm doing it because it's something that I want to do. It's something that I'm good at. So it's like, outside of my skin tone, outside of what I look like, outside of my job, I am still a person, you know what I mean? And I still have things I like to do. I still have things that I want to do, and I still have like dreams and goals. But it's like, I don't like that they really will sometimes just box black people into like, okay, you're a rapper, so yeah, now you can't wrestle, or you're a rapper, so you can't do rock music or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's like,
they fear what they can't understand and control.
Artist?
I think they fear what they can't understand and can't control.
Yeah.
That's too much. So I got to put it in a sense where I can understand it. It's almost like it's almost like getting the computer for the first time. I was like, no, this is a computer. No, but you can also do this with it, do this with it. Like, yeah, but it's a computer. But it's so much more than that. Like, you can create this, you can do that, you can do this, download this, you can do this, you can do this. It's all like, you don't need all these other things.
Yeah.
No, I have this for that, I have this for that, and I have this for that. You are the computer. Do what computers do.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I'm a lot of things.
Right.
I'm a lot of things. I even went to school for web design. It's like, I can't stand labels, but they're there. And I know that people put them there because, like you said, people have to be able to understand what's going on a little bit better. And when you sometimes don't have a label, I feel like people get a little bit uncomfortable, but that's not my problem. You know what I mean?
It's also the way things have been for so long, and the change is kind of like intimidating, and it hits people in the face a little hard.
Somewhere in the back of the throat.
Yeah. You can say that.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCall Hall. Tickets start at $27. Visit pnb.org.
Okay, so you are actually going to be, well, actually, you know what? Let's go to tomorrow, this Saturday. Washington Hall, you will be fighting for the undisputed DEFY championship against Randy Myers. Christopher Daniels, was that Scoff? Shaft.
Yeah.
Shaft.
Great name.
Chef. DEFY Richards. Artemis Spencer and ladder match.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on there.
It's so much. That's why you got to.
This is all happening at Washington Hall.
All at Washington Hall. That's why you got to come and see this, because that's so much to digest at one time. And that's going to be what the action is too. Like, I've honestly said, like, DEFY has the greatest wrestling crowd I've ever been to. I've wrestled in Canada. I wrestled in Mexico. I've wrestled in Europe. And Europe is great, amazing. UK, Ireland, Germany, all of them, amazing crowds. There's nothing like DEFY. And it's DEFY in Washington Hall. There's something special about that building. I was the first main event back in 2016 against Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes is like doing amazing things in WWE right now. He was helped build AEW from ground up. So that was, now he's like pretty much a wrestling legend on his way to becoming one. That I was like in the main event with with him in the first night, and now I won the interim championship because Randy Myers was stuck over in Canada since the COVID situation. Now he's coming back to reclaim and become the Undisputed Championship, but I'm the one holding the throne as the king of DEFY Wrestling.
So they have to beat you to get it.
Yeah, all 5 of them. I'm the competition, and I'm the placeholder.
So are they all fighting you at one time? Or wrestling you at one time?
It's a free-for-all. We're all fighting each other. And the object to win, you got to climb the ladder and get
it's
both
like the
championships.
WrestleMania type thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember.
You're getting all the WrestleMania type of action in one hall, one building.
What am I doing tomorrow? When does this start?
I'll tell you what you're doing. You're going to be at Washington Hall watching DEFY Fight
I
Wave.
don't think I have anything to do.
You don't?
JC, I don't think I have anything to do after 1 p.m. We have a remote tomorrow, but after that...
Hey, our show starts at 7, and it's like 10 minutes away.
We have time.
Yeah, we got time. It's going to be awesome. It's an incredible building. Like, seriously, like we pretty much make history in that building every show we have. And, like, there's going to be history made again. I don't think we've ever had a ladder match in DEFY ever, so this is the first ever ladder match there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, this honestly feels better each and every time I get crowned with some gold. It never gets old to me. And it shouldn't get old to y'all, and none of y'all should be surprised. Like I said back in February, I'm going to climb the ladder of success here in DEFY. And on top of that, I'm going to take the seat at my throne right where I belong. This just happened to be a ladder involved with it.
Okay, so let me also ask you about this. Have you heard that lab-grown meat has been approved by FDA for human consumption?
I have not heard this.
I found that out today.
It sounds synthetic.
It's cell-cultivated meat.
What do we do with this information?
So basically what they're saying is they're making it to where eventually you won't have to actually eat like live animals.
Right.
And so they're making the meat in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
My thought on this is if you're over here to the point where you've already tested this on people,
mm-hmm.
you've been working on this for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So my question is, are we running out of food? And if so, why not just say that?
We're running out of animals.
Like,
and
you know what I mean?
I think we're also like this is the vegan society. Like I think people are getting more and more like uncomfortable eating live animals.
Yeah.
So okay, you want meat, but you don't want to kill animal. Here's this alternative right here.
Yeah.
We made this lab meat that we feed to astronauts usually. We've been working on it for like 50 years, but now we're comfortable to say it's actually ready for the public.
Humans.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you in terms of us running out of animals, but I also just feel like there's something that's going on that they're not telling us, and there's a reason why they're like making all this stuff in labs for just in case something goes crazy.
My thing is they've been making movies about this kind of thing for like 70 years.
True.
It's not just like fiction. It's not just like those ideas coming from something. There's inspiration coming from somebody seen some things and wrote reports in journals.
True.
And we just turned them into
movies.
Cinema. Yeah. But we've been talking about this stuff for so long now.
This is true. This is very true. We're just now finally living it.
Yep.
It's like
it's
one
here.
big black mirror.
They made films about the future for what 50 years? Actually, no, longer than that. Since like they've been making like Attack of from Alien, the Attack of the whatever the zombie things or some from outer space. They've been doing that since like the 30s and 40s.
Wow.
We're pretty much here now.
True.
We're here.
So Keith Lee walked out on you. What was that about?
Because he doesn't want to do the dirty work to win our AEW Tag Team Championships back. We were in Prudential Center this past Saturday for Full Gear pay-per-view, and we were the co-main event. First of all, I got to put this out there. I've said it before at the media scrum. I'll say it again here. At All Out a couple months ago, me and Keith Lee were the defending AEW World Tag Team Champions. We faced the Acclaimed. We were the only match in AEW's history where 4 black men wrestled for a championship. Wow. First time in this history. This is year 3 in the company's history, young history. We were the first ever match on pay-per-view where we had 2 black teams, two black tag teams wrestle for the championship. Then we did it again this last Saturday at Full Gear. Same tag teams, two pay-per-views in a row. Never has happened before. I don't think there's ever been two tag team title matches with the same 2 teams back-to-back pay-per-views. That's never happened. So now we were able to do that and like really accomplish some history there in the company. So knowing that we're facing a team that we've faced 2 times before for the same championship, knowing we had to, these guys are good. There's also some adversity against us. Mm-hmm. Me and Keith aren't seeing eye to eye. I got to take some measures, a little drastic. I got to get a little creative with how we win this. And I offered Keith another way that we can win these championships back. And it may be out of his character, but it's certainly not out of mine. Mm-hmm. How are we going to get it? Are you willing to do it? And to me, him walking out on me showed me he's not willing to go the lengths that's necessary to be a champion.
Well, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate, especially when it's something where it's like this has to be a team effort.
Has to be.
Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So then it's like, well, now I can't get my championship because you don't want to be a team effort. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just...
Not only that, he gave up our championship, like, our rights to it, because he wants to face his morals. I'm facing reality.
Gotcha.
Of what it takes in our industry to win.
You know, not everything is cut and dry these days.
It's not so simple.
Okay, so before we let you out of here, I gotta do 6 randoms with Besa.
Ooh.
When you come back to town, where do you like to eat?
I don't even know. Anywhere with teriyaki.
Anywhere with
Anywhere.
Where, like, do you have like a favorite teriyaki spot at all?
No, I just like, oh, they have teriyaki, I'm going there.
You're like, it's all like,
yeah.
Okay. Does it have to have the thick sauce teriyaki? Because some of these teriyakis, it gives like soy sauce with sugar.
I don't mind the sugar. I don't mind it. But yeah, you're right. The thick sauce.
The thick sauce.
Yeah. Anywhere I can find like a rice bowl or something like that. I don't care if it's at the airport for $35 or if it's like on the corner, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
I actually have my own at home now, just because sometimes I'll order it and I'm just like, what is this?
They're not providing what you need.
No, so I have my own bottle of hoisin, I have my own bottle of teriyaki sauce, I have a big bottle of sriracha. I'm like, what you're not gonna do is play with me and my sauces. We're not doing that.
No. I'm not a big sauce guy. I'm more like, I'm not big in condiments like that.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. When you're not wrestling, what do you like to do to relax?
Video games.
Video games? What's your favorite game right now?
I have a pet pig.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's Cuddy would say. You can't just speed past that.
I'm like, oh yeah, about that. Yeah. So, got a pet pig. He's like 115 pounds. Lives in the house.
What?
Yeah.
Does he crap everywhere?
Outside. Where
so he's like trained?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you want to get a pig?
When I was drawing pictures on the wall, I was drawing pigs too. I wanted a pig since I was a kid.
Look at you just getting everything you wanted. I love that.
If I have the resources, I'm like, yeah, get a pig, and he's excellent.
Okay.
House hasn't smelled better. Literally the cleanest animal. Cleaner than a dog. Cleaner than a cat. I promise you.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, I guess I gotta take your word for it. I've never been around a pig in person, so heck if I know.
Yeah.
One misconception of wrestling.
I'm trying to think. There's so many. If I can narrow it down. I could easily say it's not as easy as you think, but I think a lot of people don't think it is very easy. You sacrifice 10 times more than you get in from it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not just the average. That's the majority of the average.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you tell the 12-year-old black kid in Tacoma that wants to be a wrestler? Like, what would you tell him to look forward to in, like, his warnings? Like, this is going to happen, but keep going.
Yeah. Prepare yourself for no. Prepare yourself to hear the word no often. And be adaptable. Be adaptable, not just, like, physically, but mentally and spiritually too. There's times you're going to be tested, like, not just like, challenges in the ring and stuff. It's the outside of the ring that'll test you. Your morality, like, and a no also doesn't mean you failed either. Failure doesn't mean it's a no. You know, it's like it's a bunch of different things. And so, like, I will say, always adapt. Be knowledgeable of the industry, and know that if it's, I'm speaking in a sense of, like, when you already got into it, when you already, like, kind of in the grind and stuff like that. Early on, don't think of yourself as being so special that it can't happen to you as well. Like, I'm going through some stuff, or yeah, this is unfair. I'm like, you're not that special where this hasn't happened to this person, this person, this person, and that company, that company, that company. It happens everywhere. It's about how you adapt to that and come out on top. And make sure it's all about giving. You don't just take. You have to give something. Whether it's a lot or all of you, as sometimes. You want to get to the point at your career when it's like, now you've given so much, now it's time to take everything that the business can offer you. But some people think it's just like the one-way street. I'm like, no, the first half, you're going to spend the first, your career goes in threes. Spend the first half of your career losing, first third of your career losing. The middle part, you reach your peaks and you start winning a lot, and then on your way out, you start losing again. So you're going to spend 2/3 of your career losing.
Wow.
How are you going to take that is up to you.
Wow. It makes a lot of sense, but damn, it's a harsh reality.
It's what LeBron's doing now.
That was my stomach, by the way.
You need some teriyaki.
Probably. I was actually thinking about getting some Thai food. Last question. If you could pick any celebrity, who would you wrestle?
Oh, man. I think he'd be a great crossover athlete. And I wrestle Michael B. Jordan.
Really?
As Killmonger.
Oh.
I don't want Michael B. Jordan.
You want
Creed.
Killmonger.
I want Killmonger with the divots in his body and all that. I want the whole get up in the suit without the mask.
So pay to see
I need people to know it's him.
I would so pay to see that. What was it, like a gold tooth or something that he had?
I want the whole thing. I want the get up. I want it all.
I love it. Well, shoot, Swerve, I want to thank you so much for coming and making this your first stop when you come back to town. What is next outside of what you have going on this weekend?
Man, right now, we're on the road to January 4th, AEW in Seattle. This is the debut in the Pacific Northwest for the company. We're going to do the big, what's the arena?
Climate.
We're going to do that. We're going to sell that mother out. It's going to be a crazy reaction from the crowd. Like myself, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin, all the Seattle guys. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be on that show.
I love it.
It's going to be insane to hear the reactions from that.
And that's not even this city. This state loves wrestling. So you already know you're going to get all the love.
Starved for it in such a big way. And then the week after, we have the Forum in L.A. Fresno after that.
Yeah, I'm on air in Fresno.
Yeah, going into March. March 5th is going to be Revolution pay-per-view in Chase Center.
Wow. Where
Golden State Warriors play. So that's going to be amazing. I'm a Steph Curry fan. So that's going to be big. And next spring is I'm releasing my first solo album.
Oh, come on.
I've been working on that. That's going to be pretty dope. Man, Swerve City Podcast, possibly do that here in Seattle live one day. Definitely do it on the Jericho Cruise. There's just so much going on that I don't want to speak on yet. I want you to watch the product and follow along and
follow the movement,
follow the breadcrumbs that we're leaving.
Yeah,
because it's going to definitely do something that's the culture is going to be very proud of. It's going to change the industry. It's going to put a lot of people on top that you never expected, and it's going to literally start a trend where people are going to want to follow behind it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, make sure you guys are following the movement, okay? Until next time, I once again want to thank Swerve for popping up on me on this rainy Friday, y'all. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the weather's going to be like when you guys actually watch this, but right now it is raining in Seattle. So, of course, you guys, until next time, you already know what I'm going to tell you to do. Have an amazing rest of your day, and, of course, keep that energy high.